And what I learned with urban rooms is initially, the first thing you do is just grab their attention. So even if you do something gimmicky or something music related or something bizarre, whatever, you're grabbing their attention immediately. And then from there, then you can go into your jokes and some crowd work.
But a lot of our rooms aren't, and that's crazy, I had a whole nother point before, but you're doing good. A lot of our rooms aren't built for comedy. A lot of the times, the people that's promoting comedy shows are converting situations to fit a comedy show, but it's not an environment that is conducive to comedy necessarily, right? So you have to sometimes.
Ice, brother.
Yes, hopefully we got some.
If not, don't worry about it. I ain't
I'll
no
check.
bougie bitch.
But you have to. I'm gonna say this real quick. You have to sometimes take the attention away from the Sixers game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Or the waitresses and the bartenders is talking too fucking loud.
Yeah.
Like you have to deal with that. So you have to kind of shock them as soon as you get up there in our environment.
You gotta grab them as soon as you get up there. I've done some attentive urban rooms. Not many, but I've done them where they are there to listen to the joke or whatever, but they don't find mediocre things funny. Mm-hmm. So just making you work a little bit. But I to me, that's just like strength training. That's strength training right there. All those different rooms. And somebody who only does urban, their ass got to go into mainstream and experience that if they want to.
I always look at it because I used to consider myself an athlete. Like,
you consider yourself what?
I used to consider myself an athlete.
Oh, okay.
So I played basketball, and it would be like, there was always this thing where like everybody nice at day park. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? If you playing against the motherfuckers you play against all the time, of course you nice at home. What you do when we go on the road? Mm-hmm. How many people dominate here, but when we take them on the road and we in the middle of somebody else's projects, they don't want the ball. You see what I'm saying? It's like strength training. Like you literally have to be prepared for those environments, and that prepares you for the lights.
Yep.
That's how you get comfortable in the light.
Yeah.
You agree?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I
think
agree.
you need to experience our rooms. I've been in hole in the walls, to really luxurious country clubs. Like I've done some city country clubs, like those country clubs in the middle of like major cities where
right.
You like, I can't believe this is here.
Yeah, like this is in the middle of all of this is just space.
This beautiful thing for the wealthy people.
Right.
This beautiful space for the wealthy people.
And nobody knows it's here.
Yeah, nobody knows it's there. It's on a random block. I've been to those. I've been to speakeasies, strip clubs. I do comedy everywhere. I've done comedy everywhere. Because you got to make sure you can make people laugh everywhere, if that's one of your goals.
Favorite night on stage and why?
My favorite night on stage. Damn. I got a few.
I mean, you can give me more than one thing.
My favorite night on stage. Damn. I got some knockout shit. I'll have to say when my partner Driz and I, my business partner Driz and I did Girls Got Giggles, which is our brand. Girls Got Giggles. We do skits, movies. We produce comedy shows,
right?
And highlight, and we do themed comedy shows. Like we had Girls Got Giggles present Sausage Fest. We had an all male lineup, like stuff like that.
Right.
But our very, very first one was really phenomenal, and Michael Blackson came and did a set.
Dope.
He came to the show. And
shout out to Mike, man.
Yeah, shout out to Michael Blackson for pulling up to that show. And
he didn't have to.
Nope, he did not.
Right.
And and then to have him walk in to a packed house. He's like, who shit is this?
Talk
like,
heavy.
You know?
Talk heavy. Talk that. I'm sitting here hitting her like she a nigga.
You know what
Talk
I mean?
that shit.
Who shit is this? I was me and my friend. We like, this is our shit. Hey.
Talk that shit.
And he wanted some time, so he got some time.
He only wanted time because he felt the room.
He felt the energy that, and I'm glad that we was able to do that, make him feel comfortable enough to want to give them.
I've been at shows
some
twitching
time.
like, oh, they giving it up tonight. I wish I had a couple minutes up there.
That was definitely one of my favorite moments. I got a few standing ovations I got in my career so far.
Awesome.
I say one was special because it was some family in the audience too that has never seen me perform, which is always.
I'm about to say that's a wobbler. Do we do the full set?
I know.
Do we do the full set?
When my family in the audience, I switch things around a little bit. But when I get to a certain level, nah, fuck all that. But they ain't gonna give a fuck because they gonna see that money.
I heard that.
They gonna be like, nah, let her go ahead. What you was sucking a dick and did what?
It did, yeah, girl. Shit bought me a Benz.
Sorry, no, I'm talking shit. But yeah, my family was there. That was a very special moment. I won a contest and won money. That was a great moment on stage. I had quite a few times where I was like, wow, this was it. I'll have to say earlier this year, one of my favorite sets was January 31st at Helium. That's on YouTube, actually, for Helium Comedy Studios. I have on an orange hoodie. That the check that out.
Was that the anniversary?
10 minutes.
What was the purpose of that show?
It was a Helium Comedy Studio showcase, and it was an all-female lineup that day.
Okay, so that's not the one I'm thinking of. Okay,
no,
all right.
It was a 4 p.m. show, so I didn't expect anybody to be there. So I showed up kind of dressed down, thinking like, ain't nobody gonna be here. It's 4 p.m. It's all women. I got there, and that shit was packed. I said, whoa, and they had all the cameras set up. I said, oh, this is some real shit. Mind you, I'm like, if you go watch it, I'm like dressed down. So, yeah, I filmed that, and I love the quality of it. I got to see myself on a high quality level as far as my shit being filmed. So, and that's when I introduced a very hit non-sexual joke, because I've been working on my non-sexual jokes. Mm-hmm. Because I had people comment on my explicit comedy. Even though I'm clever with the sex jokes, some people feel like you can't always cross that over into television. Mm-hmm. But I mean, to be honest, a lot of the successful comics that I look up to, who indeed are successful, they were raunchy. Like how raunchy I am, that's how raunchy. I grew up off of raunchy comedy.
But
I watched Howard Stern as a kid. I was sneaking on watching, like, you know, like
I watched Howard Stern too. But does like
fucking Chelsea Handler, like, you know, like I was watching some shit growing up. Like, oh wow.
We have to base things on what's being picked up and what's going to be successful, but we have to find balance too, right? Mm-hmm. So like, it's still a you find you in the thing. You know what I mean?
Well, one of my main reasons,
place in the mix.
One of my main reasons is I'm not, you know, catering to what people's opinions. However, I always welcome constructive criticism. Mm-hmm. And I like the challenge as well. So the more non-sexual jokes I come up with, and if they're smashing, I like you to suck my dick after that. You know what I mean? Like, damn, nah, she real funny. Like, my carjacking joke, mwah.
Word.
Right now. Like, my carjacking joke is a closer and it's a killer.
10 for 10.
Yeah.
Now,
that has nothing to do with sex.
How do you feel about your crowd work?
Crowd work, I have my days. I'm mainly good at it, but I have my days
This is a two-part
where I feel
question.
like doing that shit.
And you don't have someone that records your sets?
Not every single show. I've been trying to get better at that because I notice people posting crowd work clips.
I've heard, well, see, I think that's based on levels, but I've heard somebody say, ask the event if you can get some of their footage or your footage that they get ahead of time if possible. If not, designate somebody with a phone. But a lot of the traction that I'm seeing comedians get online when they tried to compete with the internet comedians was based on having clips of crowd work and just extreme punchlines. Things that fit the formats that they put them on, that have literally made Andrew Schultz somebody that sits next to Charlemagne, and have made, you know what I mean, certain comedians that we wouldn't have known on such a scale because they had a niche group that cared about them. They do that one Jewish joke, since we smiled about the Jewish shit earlier, but you know what I mean, and it gets that traction. So I just strategically find a way, if you can, to get those clips for yourself.